Now, the descriptions of God as man in the Old Testament prepare people, especially Jews, for this thinking, God in human form. We've had that already, but it was a challenge to them, especially since they rejected the Messiah. They rejected Jesus, to accept the idea that was God. He actually became a man. Boy, we're in big trouble here. Okay, this ups the ante, the language, but the Old Testament idea of God as man, a Godhead, there's two there. The God, the invisible Yahweh who's everywhere, and then there's God also on earth. That prepared them for Jesus.
Heiser is saying that the Hebrew Scriptures prepare us for Jesus, but that's not correct at all. Simply look at Deuteronomy 13. We're actually told that a person like Jesus is not God. Jesus wasn't there to bring us out of Egypt, to free us from the bonds of slavery. Jesus and his followers changed, adding to and taking away from the laws of the Torah that God gave them, that God gave the Jewish people. So I just would say this is the wrong religion. Jesus was revealed to the wrong people. And how do we know this is true? How do we know that this message of Christianity was better suited for pagans? It's because those are the ones who ultimately accepted him. The Jewish people who had the Tanakh, the Hebrew Scriptures, rejected Jesus. We rejected the polytheism. We rejected the idea that a man could come in human form. And we did that because of our scriptures that God gave us. We rejected him because God chastised us for our tendency to chase after polytheism. That was the issue the prophets had, constantly telling Israel, stop following after these false gods. So we know that what Heiser's saying it doesn't make any sense. It actually reveals more about Christianity, and that is that Christianity is something that appeals to idolaters.
Now, I want to remind you, although you once fully knew it, that Jesus, who saved a people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed those who did not believe. Well, no, wait a minute. Who delivered Israel from Egypt? Elohim, God, Yahweh, angel, the presence, Jesus. Again, this is the New Testament writer applying Old Testament passages and thought to Jesus. John 17, I have manifested your name to the people whom you gave me out of the world.
I just want to make a quick comment here that Jesus' name does not appear in the Hebrew Scriptures anywhere.
The world, the name theology. This doesn't mean that Jesus says, look, when I showed up, I taught everybody what God's name was. They already knew that. They have a Hebrew Bible. Yahweh's in there a couple thousand times. They have Exodus 3, I am that I am. They don't need to know what God's name is. That's not what he's talking about. When he says, I have manifested your name to the people you gave me out of the world, or I kept them by your name. He's not just whispering Yahweh over them.
So he's right. There's no need to teach the Jewish people about what God's name is. We've known the name since Genesis. Use God's name to compass certain actions that God takes regularly. So that's what we're dealing with. When God acts in a merciful way, we use the name Hashem. The Jewish people who came out of Egypt did not deserve to come out of Egypt. But Hashem had made a promise to Abraham that he would bring his descendants out of the land that enslaved them. And that's what he did. God acts in mercy, and God acts to fulfill his promises. That's what the name represents.
Because in Daniel, you get your fifth reference to the one who rides the clouds. 4 times the prophets, the biblical writers, will use that description. It's used only of Yahweh, right here. O Lord Yahweh, you make the clouds your chariot, so on and so forth. 4 times they take this title of Baal and attribute it to Yahweh. Here's the 5th one. And it's not Yahweh, it's the second character in the vision of Daniel. The Ancient of Days, God, is already seated. Then I saw in night visions, behold, with the clouds of heaven. You could also translate it on the clouds of heaven, but it works either way. With the clouds of heaven there came one like a son of man, like a human being. And he came to the Ancient of Days and was presented before him, and to him was given the glory and the kingdom, everlasting dominion. This freaked the rabbis out. Because in the intertestamental period, they know their Hebrew Bible really well. And they know that this is a description of deity, but now the description of deity is not applied to God, it's applied to somebody else. It's applied to this human being, this human whatever.
So, interesting things he makes. Number one, I'm not sure why he brings Baal into this, but I'm sure he's not trying to claim that Baal is also God of the Jewish people, because we know that's not true. I don't think a Christian would believe that. It's very important when we talk about whether the word is on the clouds or with the clouds. On the clouds gives you an idea of divinity, like he's saying, or some sort of special status, and with does not. Somebody comes on the clouds, that means they're riding the clouds, and so this apparently triggers for him descriptions of Baal, which are also used in the Hebrew scriptures as descriptions of Hashem. And so I don't know, and then this person riding on the clouds then is the Son of Man. So it sounds like what he's saying, I don't think this is what he's saying, is that Baal is equivalent to Hashem, and Hashem is equivalent to the Son of Man. The Son of Man, therefore, is equivalent to Baal. They're the same person, because they share these same types of description of riding on the clouds. So you can see that means that it is very important that we get this word right. Is it on or with? So I'll just tell you that in the text that he's referring to, the Hebrew word there is with, im. If you wanted to say upon the clouds or on the clouds, that Hebrew word would be all. So very important. And the fact that he says they're interchangeable, he says that just to blow it off so that he can maintain this argument, he's saying, because once you disagree with that, once you show that's not true, he has lost that argument.
And Daniel 7, if you hearken back, to when we started our session today, Daniel 7 was a key passage for the two powers in heaven. It's not one good and one evil, it's two Yahwehs. Two Yahweh figures in heaven. This was
the claim he's making right now is that there are two Hashems in heaven, Yud K Vav K. And that's true, that's in contradiction to what Deuteronomy 6:4 says, which is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Hear, O Israel, the Lord, Hashem, our God, Elohim, Hashem, Echad. Yud K Vav K, one. So Yud K Vav K is one. But he's saying Yud K Vav K is two. That is a contradiction. There's only one Hashem. If you are reading Daniel 7 to say there are two Hashems, then you have misread it. You have misunderstood it. Because that is in direct conflict with what Deuteronomy 6:4 says, the Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord, Hashem, Yud K Vav K, is one.